the magic in the air. I love it in my all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hornbill Special World Cup preview. Today we are very glad to have two gentlemen joining us here. I'd like to introduce our panelists for today. Michael Esh, he is for One Life International Director. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And with here we have the handsome Reverend Joseph joute. Pastor Joe, welcome to the show. He is the Asian Director of For One Life. What amazing World Cup it has been. Lots of surprise. Brazil are out. No Messi, no Ronaldo. Do you think the show must go on or half this fun is over?
Oh, the show is just about to get started. It is just about to get started. Yeah.
So, all the big guns are already out. Do you think it could be Croatia or it could be for England?
I know the answer, but I'll let Michael continue that.
Well, I had Argentina first because I like Messi, and my second was Spain because of Iniesta. So once they were out, I didn't really have a favorite team, so I have to root for the underdog. So I'm going for Belgium versus Croatia in the final. That's what I want to see.
Joe, what's your take? Pastor Joe, what's your take on this?
Like I've told you, I know the answer to this. The World Cup this year, it's coming home. It's coming home.
It's coming home to England?
Yes. It's definitely coming home to England.
Why? Why it should be described as a home?
Because that's where the World Cup started. That's the home of football. The home of football is England, and so is the home of cricket. So for England, cricket and football is the home of the two sports. So this year, I think, after so many years, I think it's coming home, and it will come home.
Well, the English media and the English fans are already on clock number 9. Let's watch and see. The English, for the first time, has broken the curse of being knocked out in penalties, so they have already won. And there are some arguments. This English side are facing very easy opponent. How do you take it, Pastor Joe?
So that's a very I would say
that argument doesn't have any weight.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to use the word lame. That's a very lame excuse to say that they have not faced any tough opposition yet. Because, for example, last match, let me say we defeated Sweden, and Sweden,
they makes it look so easy and they're so convincing.
Yeah. So convincing. Like it was more like it was decided even before halftime, after the goal was scored, obviously, and Sweden were in top of the group, which had Germany in it, so they were above Germany, obviously, and then before that we played Colombia, and then I don't know where these comments are coming from that England have not faced any tough opposition. Like Colombia, you look at them, world ranking wise, even player wise, they consistently would be in top 4 of the South American Copa ranking. So I don't know where is this comment coming from. Defeating Colombia and Sweden, I don't think that's a small feat at all. And then especially against Sweden, they were convincing. Not just because they had more ball possession, but the spine of the team, it held firm, and then the wingers, the wing backs, and the wing forwards, they were convincing. So yes, Pickford had to make a few saves, but that was against the run of play. So overall, I think England were in control of that game.
I wholly agree with Pastor Joe when he say it's not a weighty matter that when people say they are facing easy opponent. Look at Mexico. They have beaten Germany, and Germans are at the bottom of the table. So there is no such thing as easy opponent.
Below South Korea. Below
South Korea. That's what we have seen. This is one of the best World Cup, Mike.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like the whole World Cup, there were surprises. The whole, it's like you mentioned, Messi is gone, Ronaldo is gone, Neymar is gone. So there were surprises all along the way. So I will give that to you.
Thank you.
That I don't agree with the argument of weak opponents, because honestly, in this World Cup, I don't think there are any weak opponents. Like everyone it's been, the ones that we thought were weak were strong. They're still there, some of them. The ones that we thought were strong went home.
So looking at the FIFA ranking, it doesn't seem to have much impact on this World Cup. They are just defying the ranking. Look at Russia. They have given a very, very good fight against your opponent. It was a narrow margin that Croatia is winning. So we have some of the big match coming up. It's going to be France versus Belgium. What a mouth-watering class that's going to be.
Huge, yeah.
Look at your lineup. These two teams have their golden generation. They're embarrassingly so good with their quality. So, Pastor Joe, which side of the two teams are you going to put your money on? Belgium versus France?
Good question. Good question. Very good question. See, my heart always says England. Like, I was kind of joking. I was half serious, but half joking when I said England.
That's right.
But then realistically, as a football fan, pre-tournament, I had 3 favorites to win the tournament. And that did not include Brazil. I had first of all Germany, obviously, because their reserve team won the Confederation Cup. I hope you know that. Yeah. It was the reserve team that won the Confederation Cup, and a team that Leroy Mane could not even, Sane could not even, was not even included in that squad that went to Russia for the World Cup. He is one of the most talented player in the Premier League, and
He has been a revelation the last season in English Premier League. The young-
confident, swift, quick, finishing, passing, up down, stamina, ability, everything. He was not even included in the 23. So I was like, give it to Germany even before the World Cup. Yeah. And then number 2, I had Belgium. My goodness, the talent in that, from the goalkeeper till the striker, the amount of talent in that team, it is ridiculous. Yes, you mentioned the golden generation. Yes. And then my favorites, my head told me that France were going to win the World Cup this year.
But your heart is telling England.
Obviously, my heart is red, so is the color of England. Sometimes awake it. So France, look at the side, look at the squad.
Let's not look at the squad. Let us look at those stars who are left behind. They're definitely some of the biggest stars. Lacazette, Anthony Martial. They are not there, and there are so many big names.
So I'll just tell you. Mbappe, I think, is going to challenge Ronaldo and Messi in the next couple of years for the Ballon d'Or. I think we have a new revelation.
Are you telling us that Mbappe is going to break the record once the transfer window is open after the World Cup?
That I don't know. That I don't know. But then, having said that, I think he's a new revelation. The way he demolished the Argentina defensive midfield and their defense.
At this age,
teenager, unbelievable. His finishing.
This young player reminds me of the original Ronaldo R9, the phenomenon.
The real Ronaldo.
The real Ronaldo.
Yeah. So I'll just get back to France, and then obviously they have the dependable Paul Pogba. I'm a United fan, so I know him inside out. He joined us when he was in his late teen. He went away to Juventus. He came back, and then you have the dependable Oliver Giroud, not the quickest but very dependable, a very good Christian as well. And then Umtiti, and then Varane is there.
Do we have time to mention about Kante?
Yeah, Kante, quick, agile, mobile.
And the revelation of this season, big teams are running after Pavard, from Stuttgart.
Pavard. And then you have the dependable Hugo Lloris standing behind the goal, so standing between the sticks. So obviously, and then the balance of the side. Like we have some few experienced players, but then the young fresh players who are hungry to play.
So, Pastor Joe, what kind of game are we expecting here? How much is the coach and the tactics gonna matter on this big match coming up tomorrow?
And something I hope is like Roberto Martinez. He's absolutely brilliant.
The way how he outclassed in terms of tactical genius. The Brazilians were not prepared for that, right?
And then Didier De Jong is very good as well. So, but I really hope it's not the battle between the coaches. You get my point. I really hope it's not the battle of the coaches.
But would you agree if I said we cannot deny the fact that both two teams have so much talent? Each of the players on the benches can come and be a game changer, but it depends on whoever get the tactics right and get the winning formula team seeds.
See, one thing is if they get too tactical, I feel like sometimes it can be a bit boring for the neutrals.
That's right.
So because most of the World Cup finals, you'll have a 0-0 draw or a 1-1 draw and then penalties. That's mainly because no one is afraid to take risks. They'll be safe, they'll be tactical, and then at the end you'll have a boring match and a penalty. So I really hope De Jong and Martinez don't be too I want them to be very tactical, yes, but then I don't want them to park the bus to teach or to instruct their players to be safe. I don't want them to do that. I want them to use their brain to the fullest, but then we don't want them to spoil the beautiful game of football by being too negative, I feel.
Mike, what kind of match are we expecting? It's going to be a very close match and very tactical battle, or it's going to be open and free scoring, free attacking game? So what's your prediction about the outcome of the match?
Yeah, I'm with Joseph. As a I would say a relatively new football fan. The games I enjoy are the ones where they open up and play a little bit aggressive, a little bit daring, take some risks. But again, it's a semifinal of the World Cup, so they're not going to take too many risks, I'm sure. So what I think I would like to see and what I expect to see might be two different things. So, I expect that they'll probably play pretty conservative and not take too many risks. And like Joseph said, it's very likely, I would say, that we'll see it end on, penalty shootout.
I'll add a few points. So the French legend, Thierry Henry, he's the assistant manager of Belgium.
He must be torn apart.
Yeah. So he's going to play obviously against his country. So that must be kind of difficult. But then obviously he'll support Belgium.
But that's going to come handy for Team Belgium because he must be known in the dressing room what is their team philosophy, and he can be very handy for Martinez because he can put in lots of...
He won't be playing too much against his current players, but then team's philosophy normally stays the same. So I think Belgium have an advantage there. And then the battle between Pogba and Fellaini, both United players, that'll be exciting. And then who would be better, Mbappe or Hazard? Would be exciting as well,
and Griezmann versus
Lukaku. Even that will be exciting. And then even between one of the fine of the tournament, Courtois against Hugo Lloris, who will be better? Because I believe World Cup goalkeepers are not normally mentioned, and I believe keepers are once they have outstanding World Cup, that's when World Cups are normally being won. Let me just go back with you with this a bit about football because I've done my own research.
Yes.
94 you have Tafarel, the Brazilian goalkeeper.
Yes.
Outstanding semi-finals. He was in the US finals. He saved so many shots, and Baggio missed, but that was over kick. And then 98 you have Fabian Barthez. The save that he made of set plays, Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Leonardo, fine save. 2002, we have Oliver Kahn, who won the Golden Ball because of his goalkeeping skills, but then because of his mistake, Germany lost the World Cup as well. And then you have during that time you have Marcos Roberto, and then 2006 you have obviously Luigi Buffon, who's still a revelation till today. Just a couple of days ago, PSG signed him because he was a free agent, and then
after 17 years. That's
so
fantastic.
2010, Spain were the winners, and who was their influential captain? Casillas, right? And then the last World Cup, Germany won, and then Manuel Neuer, probably one of the best goalkeeper of all time. So Courtois, his quarterfinal performance against Brazil. That's fine save of Coutinho and Neymar, especially the late Neymar strike. His 6'7" full stretch in the air. So that had elements of a World Cup winning goalkeeper.
So are you here telling us that the battle for the Golden Globe is heating up between Pickford and Thibaut Courtois and some of the goalkeepers?
Yes. I think so. Even Croatia's keeper have been doing well. He won 2 penalties. That has never happened. Yeah, two penalties. I mean, they won the round of 16 because of penalty against Denmark. He made some fine saves. And then in the last match against Russia, he made 2 fine saves again. So no keeper has ever, no team, forget keeper, no team has ever gone into the semi-finals after 2 penalty wins. So even the Croatian keeper, I think he has chance. But then obviously, like Thibaut Courtois, like against France, if he does anything good, I think he has the chance of the Golden Glove. And then obviously Hugo Lloris has been doing well as well. So yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing insight and input and analysis from Reverend Joseph R. Joute, who have amazing Reverend with such in-depth and insights about football. This is like digging coal mine. We'll be just returning after the break. We will take a short break and we'll be returning after the break. This is Mount Title for Hornbill World Cup Special Preview. Gims Agency, RCM Pickup Center, B.I. Zalon, Surchanpura. Nang leneng kon pitia ringa na date he sol sia fansa kimte hia to asian hi tamimuna mundak sa namalaya hele kiman mama ding hia member na hi island na silay sol sia hi nang return na dia hi RCN hi tulaya company tela hi sel soi pen tela khare hia to asian hi mundanga mantam pipian lay sa hi nasum na sebo dale RCM baswanin RCM na date he sol sia invan nisil puan chen ahilole na date his osia kim siang ahi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Pastor Joe and Mike as our panelists for today. So Belgium knocking up Brazil. It's all about the World Cup has become all about European affairs. There is natural tendency for a neutral point of view every time when the Brazilians or any of Latin Americans are out. There is a feeling of down, you know. There is something that is missing about the beautiful game. So what's your take on this, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about Europe now. I was supporting Argentina from the beginning, so of course I was supporting a South American team. I think for those who are neutral. I mean, for me, it's kind of like after Argentina and then Spain were gone. Actually, even before that, of course, I wanted the U.S. to be in the World Cup, but we didn't even qualify this year. So that was kind of a disappointment even before the World Cup started. But now, I don't feel as strongly about the World Cup anymore since all the South American teams are out, and the teams that are still left were not really any that I paid attention to before the World Cup started. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a letdown.
Well, Pastor Joe, we have seen that Belgium surprisingly scoring 2 quick goals that makes the Brazilian team so nervous, and it was too late when they're scoring. I want to ask you this question: do you think Neymar is an overrated player?
Good question. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's very, very talented. He has a beautiful right foot, and but does he have the right temperament, the right attitude?
There is so much talk in this edition of the World Cup more than his goal scoring freak. It's about his ethics on the ground with all the play actings and delaying. So what's your take on that?
Yeah. I think he has the potential, the ability, the skill, the gift to win the Ballon d'Or next year, because Ronaldo and Messi, they're obviously with age. Someone has to replace them.
Do you agree with me that he's the third best player in the world right now?
No question. Yes, he's definitely the third best player.
So,
but then I'll just finish. But his attitude, his play acting, his Oscar-winning performance in the football field is going to cost him the Ballon d'Or.
That's a beautiful way of describing Oscar-winning performance in the football.
So that is going to cost him the Ballon d'Or, I think so. Yeah. Yes, he's the third best player in the world, but if he does not change his attitude, like Mbappe, he's knocking on the door. Young Hazard is knocking on the door. So I think he's going to have some good challenges.
he has been hunting for elusive Ballon d'Or and signing for PSG. And PSG, they were nowhere to fight the title when it really matters. When they're facing against Real Madrid, Neymar was nowhere to be seen in the match. And this is another golden opportunity for him to make redemption. But when it really matters, he can rise up to the occasion. Do you think?
So he had a bad night in that quarterfinals of the Champions League. I genuinely believe he's a natural goal scorer, and he is impact player definitely. The way he led the Brazilian team to win the Olympic goal last Olympics, I think that was special in Rio. And then obviously his transition from PSG, living in the shadows of Messi, to PSG, he immediately went there, challenged Cavani, even for the penalties and everything. And then he went there, before his injury, he immediately scored 20 plus goals.
But I want to tell you, Pastor Joe, I want to ask you this question. Do you think that's the right way to try to win Ballon d'Or? Going to PSG, one of the lowest ranking league, and they were nowhere coming close in terms of challenging Barcelona or Real Madrid or the European giants. They need to dent their place in the final, and they need to be winning European Cups because it has so much weightage.
I will disagree with you on labeling PSG not in the quality of the top European side. I think yes, the League One, the French league, they might not be as popular of a league here in this part of the world, but Lyon, Marseille, they have some quality players. They've always been, even if you look at history, they might not be as big as Real Madrid or Barcelona or the Liverpool or the Manchester United, but then they have always produced the talents which you find in the bigger countries. I mean, as in terms of football. But having said that, as far as PSG in the last 5-6 years are concerned, I think they have the quality. I think they have been a little unlucky, especially 2 years ago. I think they were unlucky when 3 years ago when Zlatan was still playing for them. Zlatan's last season there, I think they were unfortunate against Barcelona, and I think they have a very civilized mind in not complaining too much the way they lost. I thought it was a bit unfair. Even last year against Real Madrid, it was not like a comprehensive win by Real Madrid. I think they fought really hard, and then PSG came back. I mean, Barcelona came back 2 years ago. They led 3-0. They scored 3-0 in Paris. They went back at the Camp Nou and they scored 4 goals. Were they all fair? Tell me, were they all fair? The 4th goal, was it fair?
It's all fair in love and war.
Yeah. So it's fair, but then what I'm trying to say is they have been a little unlucky. There was a little earthquake in Camp Nou. I think that's what I was told. That was what the news reported. There was a mini earthquake after Messi scored that 4th goal in the Camp Nou. So you know that kind of stuff has been happening to PSG. So I don't think they are a second tier side as far as European clubs are concerned. So, but then having said that, do you need to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona to win a Ballon d'Or? I would say no.
But at the end of the day, in all fairness, Ballon d'Or is so much having weightage on whoever wins Champions League. Otherwise, if you don't have a proven track record in European biggest title, there is not much chance unless you're winning World Cup. Neymar has lost his chance. Do you see Neymar still at PSG, or do you think his radius are already towards Real Madrid?
So there are questions. There are rumors of Ronaldo leaving for Juventus, and then there have been some.
That could be a way for making room for Neymar to come, right?
Possible because he's young. Ronaldo is in his 30s now.
Neymar versus Mbappe. Which of the two would you choose right now if you were to sign for Real Madrid?
Neymar
all the way.
All the way. Yeah. I just want to be realistic here. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's focus about the next coming match. That is going to be another exciting one. We have been big fans of English Premier League, watching them week in and week out. So the English players are better known for us than more than our neighbors, right?
Definitely.
Well, England are gonna take on Croatia. Croatia are the dark horse for this tournament. They don't have big stars, but they have two of the best midfielders, Rakitic and Modric, who are the orchestrator for Real Madrid and Barcelona. Where do you see what kind of match are we expecting? And Mike, what's your take on this match?
Well, again, it's this World Cup has been such a surprise every step of the way. From
Who would have
Germany
imagined?
not even making it to the round of 16 to Argentina barely making it and then leaving in the first round along with Portugal. And, so yeah, Croatia, nobody expected them to get this far. I mean, if you ask anyone at the beginning of the World Cup, will Croatia be in the semifinal? Probably no chance. So they made it this far. So maybe, can they keep going? But then England played a very convincing match a few nights ago, and so it'll be a good match. I really think both of these quarter or semifinal matches will be very hard fought matches.
Do you have any team which you want to give them as favorite deck?
I mean, it's like I said. So between the teams that are left, 4 teams, if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 World Cups won among those 4 teams. Those one by France, one by England. Belgium and Croatia haven't ever won. So I'm going for Belgium and Croatia in the final, and then let's see who wins. Between those 2, I don't really have a pick, but I think it'd be great. Hey, they made it this far. It'd be awesome if a team that has never won the World Cup before would win it this time.
Well, I want to put this question to Pastor Joe. Where do you think is the battle going to be win for this match, England versus Croatia?
So, Croatia, for them, it's their golden generation as well, no doubt. I don't think you would disagree with me on that. Mandzukic, Perisic, Luka Modric, Rakitic, Lovren. So I don't think you don't have doubts about the quality of these players.
Present squad is almost close to the class of 98 in terms of
Super, super. So you have the Real Madrid number 1 and Barcelona number 1 playing midfield for Croatia. So
they have
that's
one of the hottest talent right now,
Perisic, and then Mandzukic, Juventus number 1. So all the European top players, apart from Ronaldo and Messi and Neymar, they're in Croatia, basically. But then, obviously, Toni Kroos is German. But then, so they are very good. They're going to hold the ball. Possession, Croatia will have it.
You have mentioned they have two of the best midfielder in the world.
No doubt.
Do you think England need to be wary in the midfield because these two are going to be very dominant?
Yes. So I think our Jody Henderson, I know him well. I don't know him personally, but I know how his style of play well. I know he's going to fight really hard. He is not the most gifted player, but then his determination, his commitment.
Would you like to term him as the unsung hero in his performance?
Yes. He's not someone who would dribble the ball, but then his determination, even Mascherano played really well for Argentina in that sense. But then Henderson, he's a Liverpool player, but then I like him. Even before Henderson, you have Parker, who used to play for Tottenham Hotspurs for England. But Henderson has been doing really well. Against Sweden, Henderson played his 30th international match without being on the losing side.
That speaks a volume about his performance.
30 international matches without being on the losing side. And that is not because of a successful England tour of India, England tour of Bangladesh, England tour of Faroe Island, or it was against the European clubs. European teams. So that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes.
There is a lot of cynicism about England because they are a team who never know how to perform big stages, but that deck has been already set up. So how do we see this generation of England?
I don't want to be carried away by this, but then just analyzing and thinking about their performance gives me goosebumps. It just makes me wanna
Are you telling us that their performance beyond expectation?
Way beyond expectation. I always knew, not knew. I was kind of hoping that they would make it at least to the semifinals, which they did with ease without being challenged. Yes, against Colombia, it was not a pretty match. Like, it was ugly. Like, they were Colombia's tactic. It was the ugliest, probably one of the ugliest World Cup match I've ever seen. The ugliest I've ever seen was the one in 2006 USA versus Italy. Like, I was supporting the US, and then that match was terrible. Anyways, getting back to your point. So England's performance, due credit to Gareth Southgate. Like, he had that.
He has been not much a very glamorous name.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, he's just come to the scene and
Third choice, Sam Allardyce was sacked because of his misconduct, and he came in as a replacement. And then he had the guts to sack. I mean, not to select Smalling, for example. Chris Smalling, experienced player, very good player. Cahill, he's in the bench, and he in the center defense, Stones and Maguire. Who would have thought that? Who would have done that? Like, he had star players from Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, but then he chose Stones and Maguire. Like, that's crazy. And then behind that, Pickford. Like, who have heard of Pickford? Like, a small club, Everton, Merseyside second team, Pickford. And then in front of Pickford, you have Stones and Maguire. And in front of them, you have Henderson. In front of Henderson, you have Harry Kane. Young, solid spine. Like, in the middle, you have the young, determined, no ego, no fame, just pure gut and determination. The British gut, like, they just want to be British and they just want to perform well.
You have mentioned about Harry Kane, the man with 6 terrific goals. Do you think this man is destined to be a Real Madrid material?
Oh, good question. Like, not all of his goals have been terrific this World Cup. One has been really lucky. He didn't even know, like, that went in. He went in from the back of his heel. Like, I would be surprised. I would be very surprised if he doesn't move to Manchester United or Real Madrid in the next, let's say,
Manchester United?
come on, the biggest club in the world. Like, Michael knows this. Like, Real Madrid and Manchester United, they've been competing. Yes, you're right, Michael. The Forbes, according to Forbes, they're the 2 biggest financially. So I think they have their finance, they have the revenue to be able to pay for Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think. I mean, to your point, Manchester United is the most valuable.
Thank you.
Sports franchise in the world of any sport, of all sports combined.
That's not only for 1 year, year in and year out. They are always at the top of the top 3 of the best team in the world.
Yeah.
In terms of marketing, in terms of brand value.
Because they have money. I mean, their franchise is worth billions of.
Well, let's come to the prediction. Belgium versus France. I want to start with Mike. What would your prediction be?
Well,
Do you think it's going to go down to penalty, or it's going to be 1-1 penalty shootout?
Let's go with this because Belgium and France. I don't know. My prediction is going to be France 2-1. My pick, if I would see what I want to see happen, would be that Belgium would win. But I think, in reality, I think France is going to win.
Same here.
Your head is telling.
My head is telling me one thing, my heart is telling me another thing.
So, Pastor Joe, what's your prediction? What kind of match are we expecting here?
I expect a draw. And then I expect penalties.
So both the two teams are going to approach the match as safety first.
Definitely, like, you have to. Semi-final of a World Cup. Like, you would be a fool just to go out all guns blazing and.
That's what Brazil has been punished, right? In the first match, they were so open, everyone attacking Marcelo out of his position.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, fun to watch.
Joe is predicting
a draw. Max 1-1 draw. A 0-0 or a 1-1 draw. And then penalties, anyone could win. So
But you have to pick one.
anyone could win.
Well, look at your quality and the strikers they are having. I would definitely go for a goal in the first 90 minutes. But having said that, it's going to be a very, very close call. Let me go for, my heart is telling it should be Belgium, but my head is telling France. We just got a goal for France, winning by 2-1 extra time.
So I'll just add Pogba to score in the first half, Lukaku to equalize in the second half. So both the Manchester United players to score, and then penalties. Let's give it to Belgium in the penalties.
Well, let's predict about Croatia versus England. What will be the scoreline? Mike,
I'm gonna go Croatia 1-0.
Croatia 1-0. I can see Pastor Joe shaking his head. Come on, Pastor Joe, what's your take on this prediction?
Possession 50-50. Goal score England 1, Croatia 0.
So it's going to be 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, 1-0.
Well, looking at the quote here and their performance, the consistency of the goal for England, I'd agree with Pastor Joe. 1-0. We will take a short break and we'll be returning after the break. This is Mount Title for Hornbill World Cup Special Preview. Nanglen in kon pitia den simamo sabon ning them surf a hilolin ni simamo na de a hile lamka copy sunga RCM pickup center tom au ma to tela agape agency fencing bazar timun sang sisipura hidinga rod slavation tidim road sisipura hidinga loan enterprise center road nuching agency diphailian bazara pui agency renkaya nisimin vanhoi quality ne tale mantom ta namothei dinga hi. Let's forget about World Cup for the time being. This is high time that we have to discuss about Churchan Pro football. Well, the two men here, these two gentlemen with me, that is Michael Esh and Pastor Joseph R. Joute. They are two of the football missionaries who are trying to make change, trying to be a game changer for football. What's the project for One Life Asia and One Life International? What's the exciting thing that's coming about sports project?
Yeah, we'll let Michael answer that first.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, so first, just real briefly on the objectives of our organization are youth development, and it's like I've said many times in different events that I've spoken at or different people I've talked to. So I grew up in the United States, obviously. I grew up with tremendous opportunities all around me. And I see that even now when I go back. Young people, they're interested in football. Their parents can sign them up for camps. They can sign that, they can hire coaches, whatever they want. They can. If they're interested in music, same thing. So when I started, as a teenager, when I started traveling around the world, what I came to realize was that not every country in the world, not every area of the world has those same opportunities. And the other thing that I noticed is that the talents are no different and the desire is no different. So in other words, young people in the US and young people here in Chorchanpur, the same amount of talent, no difference in talent, and no difference in desire to do well. The difference is the amount of opportunities that are available. And so as an organization, what we focus on is youth development by providing those opportunities to young people, and community development. So, obviously right now we're sitting here in Life Cafe, and the whole objective of this cafe, this is not a for-profit business. A lot of people think, wow, they're making a lot of money, which in fact is not true. We make very little, if any, profit here. But the objective is to give the community, specifically young people, all the community, but specifically young people, a good place to hang out and enjoy themselves. So taking that and going toward the sports side, toward football, we want to do the same thing for football in this community, because I came here, like I was telling you earlier, I first started coming here 13 years ago, been living here for 4 years, and I see the talent. I love to go and watch, these community tournaments and all. And even though the facilities may be, inadequate, maybe substandard, let's say, the talent is there. And so our desire as an organization is to give the opportunities to young people of this town by providing good facilities. And so right now in Saikot, we're building a facility that we're calling the Community Life Center. And a big part of that facility is going to be an athletic facility. So we're planning to put in a football ground, and we are trying as hard as we can to get it to a very professional level. It's not going to be turf, but we are trying to get a real grass field that is real close to the same standard as you would find in some of the pitches in Infall, some of the professional pitches in Infall, or even Guwahati. Like that's our objective. It's going to take a lot of work, but that's our objective, and we want to give that to the community. And even though it's there in Saikot, our objective is to make this available to. This is not a project for any specific community within Chorchampur town. This is for the whole town, for everybody, for all communities within Chorchampur.
For a football crazy district like Chorchampur, nothing could be better news than hearing from Michael Esh, the director of For One Life International. That is a big project coming up in Saikot that is going to be one of the best world-class, almost close to world-class facilities. This is going to be like manna falling down from heaven. As I've said in the beginning, Joe, this is going to be a game changer. How much do you think it's going to impact the people of Lamka? What a blessing it's going to be. Can you give us what's the reason why you all are painstakingly running so hard in spite of the deficit in budgets and challenges?
So like Michael have said, I'll just echo what he has said. We believe that if the young people of this place are given opportunities, they can shine as much as the ones shining in the better developed places of the world.
There's no doubt of talent here.
No doubt. Yeah, so that is my simple answer. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the project's running and everything is just simply world class. It's not long before we are going to use, and look at the tournaments that we are conducting here in Lamka. We are at the mercies gambling with the monsoon rains or with the weather. So this is going to be, as I've said, going to be a game changer. So what's the vision, the dream, and the purpose? You have already briefed us. So what's this project going to run like? Is it going to be from registered NGO from India?
Yeah, so For One Life is an organization. It's a U.S.-based organization, but we also have a registered society here in India. That's For One Life Asia, and so everything in the project in Saikot, the Community Life Center project, is being done under For One Life Asia. So yes, it is a registered NGO right here in Chorchampur, and going a little deeper even in the aims and objectives, of course, we all know some of the challenges that this town faces. And let me not speak as an outsider here, but as someone who has actually lived here for some years now.
You have every right to do 10 years.
Yeah. So we see the challenges as in very little nightlife. So, after it's dark at 5 p.m., there's not that much for young people to do. And so, young people will turn to, let's say, bad habits as a way to occupy their time. That's one of the things when I first started coming here. I said, these young people need something to do after 5 p.m. And so, our objective is to give them a good alternative, a good place to hang out. That's what the cafe is all about as well. But, the project there in Saikot, give them a good place to hang out, spend their time, but in a good way. And so, we hope that project will contribute to the development of young people, both spiritually, physically, mentally, holistic development of young people.
Well, Mike, I'd like to ask you, is there any association with any of the ISL team? I have heard rumors that you are always a regular attendance of some of the big matches of ISL as well as Pastor Joe. What is the connection between this project and ISL as well as MLS of USA?
Yeah, well, MLS I can't say. I attended my first MLS match last month when I was back in US.
That was before you go to Barcelona?
No, it was just after that actually.
What's the difference between watching Barcelona MLS and MLS.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison. MLS, American football, American, as in American, we call it soccer, is up and coming in Barcelona and all over Europe. It's very well established. So there's no comparison at this point. Barcelona was an amazing experience.
Why of all club Barcelona? Why not Real Madrid? Are you a fan of Barcelona?
Well, let's put it this way. I was. I guess I can start from the beginning.
Why not Barcelona? Why not Barcelona?
Well, here's the thing. When I first moved here to India 4 years ago, I for all my life I've been a big sports fan. I love sports, but the sports I grew up on were baseball, American football, which is still the best, by the way.
Disagree.
I'm gonna make some make some enemies or cause some disagreement, but I still like American football better than soccer. But that's about what you grew up.
Fair
with.
enough.
But so when I turned on the TV, when I got here to India, I turned on the TV. It was football, cricket, football, cricket. No ice hockey, no baseball, no American football, no basketball every once in a while. But and as a sports lover, I was like, what am I going to watch? And so at that time, it was 2014, and the inaugural season of ISL had just started. And so I was flipping through channels, and I saw, oh, there's a team from Northeast. I'll watch this. So I watched a few times, and actually became very interested. And the kind of through a long process of things happening, I actually got to know the guy who was at the time the team manager from Northeast United, and we became friends. And through that,
are particularly talking about John Abraham?
No, not the owner.
Okay,
I haven't met John Abraham yet. I will tell you this: I've seen him a few times. I've been at matches where he was sitting about 2 meters, 3 meters away from me, but his security is very strict. They won't let anybody get close to him. But I'm hoping to one day meet him. Let's see. But this was the actual team manager of the team, and through that I got to know some of the players. Some people will know the name of Nico Velez. To this day, even though he's not playing in ISL anymore, we stay in regular contact. He's in Malaysia right now, so every few months or something we'll have a conversation by WhatsApp, so we still stay in contact. I became friends with him. A number of the Indian players from here in Churachandpur and other places I got to meet. So kind of through all of that, I became a big fan of Northeast United and ISL. That was actually the first football that I was actually a fan of. So fast forward to just a couple months ago, I was on my way back to US, and I had a 1.5 day stopover in Barcelona. And I, of course, in Barcelona, and as a new football fan, everybody talks about Barcelona. So I booked a tour of the stadium in the morning, and I booked tickets for the match in the evening.
Just for the knowledge of those viewers, how much it costs in Indian rupees for the whole cost, the whole ticket?
That's a personal question. The match ticket was let's say 10,000 plus. Let's just say that in Indian rupees.
Okay.
And then the stadium tour was about maybe 2,000, something like that, 2,000-3,000. I don't remember the exact amount.
Indian rupees?
In Indian rupees, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact amount. I didn't book the most expensive ticket, but I didn't book the cheapest one either. I had a good seat, very nice seat.
I'm asking you because there are so many young people who dream of going to Barcelona, just to give them a fair idea.
And that match was Andres Iniesta's farewell match. So it was a big match.
Here's something you guys will find interesting, and even the viewers. Before I went to Barcelona, I didn't know who Iniesta was. That's how much I was not a part. Like, I didn't grow up on football. Like my the first real interest I had in football was ISL. And so, I watch European matches. I know the names of the teams, but I wasn't that interested. So you asked me, how am I a Barcelona fan and not Real Madrid? To be very honest with you, I'm a Barcelona fan only since last month. And that was because I went to the stadium just more as a sightseeing thing, but I fell in love with the whole atmosphere. Camp Nou was incredible. The tour was incredible. I walked into the museum, 5 Champions League trophies trophies right there. I saw with my own eyes, right in front of me, and all of Messi's awards and all of the team awards. They have a whole room much bigger than this cafe, full of trophies, and so just the history and everything. And then going to the match that night and experiencing that whole atmosphere. I got to see Messi play with my own eyes. I got to see Iniesta walk off the pitch for the last time, and just to see that, it was amazing.
How's the reaction from the Game No Faithful? Does it give you goosebumps?
Oh, it did. It really did. It was incredible.
Live
because he was taken out, if I'm not mistaken, around the 80th minute, and so 10 minutes plus extra time left in the match, and as he was walking off the field, and I have like video clips of this on my phone, the crowd started singing "Gracias Iniesta," "Thank you Iniesta." They had a whole song, and continuously for the rest of the match, the next 15 minutes, they sang it without stopping.
That's
the whole crowd,
80 plus heart, 80 plus.
Yeah, and they showed him a few times, on the big screen, and he was sitting there crying. He was so emotional, and so because of that, I fell in love with Barcelona and the atmosphere, and so now I will say I am 100% a Barcelona fan. That's the reason. That's the reason right there.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask the next question too. That's amazing experience. Thank you so much for sharing that experience, Mike. That's a very inspiring one. Reverend Joseph R. Joute, you have been born and brought up in this district. If you have one thing that you want to improve the district football, you must have been seeing Martyrs Trophy, some of Razago, Kotang, or some of the local tournaments, elite tournaments. So is it the way to go beside this? If there is anything that you would like to suggest for the sports body, that is CDSA, or any of the sports lovers, what would be that one thing that you want to change in the district?
Good question. We have actually, Forbun Life Asia has actually partnered with the CDSA somewhat. I think it was the second division. So the second division of Jorjanpur official league is called the Forbun Life Asia Second Division League.
Okay, you have been the title sponsor.
Yes, title sponsor. So we have been involved somehow with our limited budget. I think they're doing a good job. Especially the new president. He's a personal friend of mine now. His name is also Mao. Mung. Yeah, Mung. So I think he has good visions for the future of football in the district. So, and I'm not criticizing the past leadership, but then I think Mung definitely has vision, and he has the gift of raising funds, raising donors, and I think he has the potential to take football to the next level. And then as far as advice is concerned, there could be many, but then I would be careful to say like what and what not to say in that. So maybe I'll share that to Mung on personal messages, not publicly here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here waiting for the big match, that is France versus Belgium and England versus Croatia is coming up. Let's watch and see, as Pastor Joe has said, it's coming home. Let's see where is that home gonna be. Is England the only home where football, the World Cup trophy gonna reach? It's a very, very exciting event that's coming up. Gentlemen, we appreciate joining us here for the show today. This is Mount Title, and this is Michael Esh and Pastor Joute. Pastor Reverend Joseph R. Joute for Hornbill Special World Cup preview. Thank you so much for joining us here. With this, we have come to the end of our show. Before we sign off, I want to tell you this episode is specially shot at Live Cafe, one of the coolest places to hang out. This is one of their projects, so if you want to give it a try, this is the best place you can watch World Cup. Look at the ambience. I'm just enjoying and loving here, and I wouldn't mind coming with my family and watching the final here. This is Mount Title signing out for today. Thank you for joining us here. If you liked our episode, please subscribe, like, or share it on YouTube to your friends and make it viral. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best as you're watching for the semi-final. Thank you.